Oh, whoa. Damn, I always do that. How's everybody doing?
Happy Wednesday. Happy hump day.
Ooh, it's hump day. That's right. I do not miss those Camel commercials.
What
day it is? Hump day. Like,
They
obnoxious.
have good gifts now, though, for it.
True.
It's cute.
I'm obnoxious enough for all of us. Cool, let's get started. All right, Jason's here. What's up, Jason? Here we go. So we're going to start with client wins. Let's see. We got like Mike and Shelly and Battelle rehabbing their first remodel, fix and flip. Right, and they're moving forward now. I think they're in the final stages.
Yeah. So like we have so to the people that are in our mastermind who are in our one-on-one coaching program, they got their first fix and flip going before COVID started, and one of the questions that was really coming up was, are they going to be able to get their renovations done with all the restrictions and stuff? And both of them, we got to talk to them this week on the call, the mastermind call, and both of them, the renovations are moving forward. With Battelle's, it's a little bit slower. They've had some delays, but it's still moving. And Mike and Shelly's, they're like kicking ass.
That's
like
awesome.
It's just rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's exciting.
That's so cool. All right, and then Vamsi, she's in due diligence?
Yeah, so Vamsi's, so I kind of want to share with you guys as people are in their journeys, kind of what's going on, because it's exciting and fun to see what your cohorts are doing. But she has the 12-unit townhouse project under contract, and she's in due diligence. So right now we're just waiting. She's also one of our one-on-one people. So it's almost like we're doing the due diligence with her. So right now what we're doing is we're waiting for them to send in the rest of the financial information. So it's just been a matter of her communicating back like, hey, here's what I've received, but I haven't received this, this, and this yet. So, I can't move forward until I have these things. So we're just working through that one. So we'll just keep you updated on that project. That was a fun one.
And then Bobby's 16 unit, is he in due diligence yet? Or what's
Yeah, he's in due diligence. So I haven't heard anything since last week, but I know that his inspection was supposed to be, I think yesterday or the day before. So it was like 5 duplexes. No, it was like 6 duplexes and a 4-plex, all as far as one portfolio package. So that was super exciting. He was in our beta program for our mastermind. So he graduated. Now he's working on the 16 unit. And so we'll see how things go with that one.
And I mean, I know everybody is only here at the Live in 5 to find out, what is Steve Caro doing? I mean, that's all I live for. Like, what is Steve Caro doing? There's going to make new bracelets. It's not WWJD. It's what would Steve do?
Oh my gosh. I can't
New real estate marketing bracelets, guys. So Steve's closing Friday on 5 properties.
5 properties. And they're, I think, like 4 duplexes and one's a single family.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and...
There were 6.
I want to preface this with like those little marketing like disclaimer. These results are not typical in a 90-day time frame. Steve is a beast. He's only been working with us for like 90 days, and he set this goal to do 20 doors, and he's for the year by December. And the dude's closing on his 19th door Friday. Like, of course, I'm like, what would Steve do? I'm making new bracelets, dude. It's gonna be awesome. And it's gonna say WOW logo. What would SKD? I mean, who would buy it? I would buy it. Anyway.
Steve Caro.
Right? Speaking of really cool action takers, I want to recognize we've had a few new people join us in the mastermind. So we already had Cammie and Leroy in our mastermind. They joined off, like they wanted to test us out. You know how you date before you get married? They wanted to test us out, so they started on the 90-day program, and they were like, yes, we love it, we're sold. And they basically just upgraded to the one-on-one platinum and went straight for it with Stacy on one-on-one coaching. And guess why? Because they're like, what would Steve do? So they want to get the same results, and we're excited for them. And then we had Tone Estokey and Savannah Barlow both joined last night. So we're super excited for them. So 4 new additions to our fam bam here. It's pretty cool. I'm getting excited. Like, we're getting a lot of really cool people making progress. I'm excited about it. Cool. So before we get started on the topic of the week, what I wanted to do to try to streamline and make this as efficient as possible is, if you guys have questions, go ahead and post them now while Stacy's talking. I'm going to try and make some like organization of that so we can answer it by the time she's done. Cool? Go ahead.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so we're going to talk about, for topics of the week, we have 2 topics. One is, so everyone's following their Journey O Steve. We have our kids sending us
Steve
messages.
In the meantime, like, kids, stop messaging us.
Okay, so
yeah, right. Parenting for you right there. You have 4 kids and try this shit. Just kidding. Just kidding. We love them.
So, so Steve is closing on Friday, right? So one of the things that we always look for during our mastermind calls is to look just for learning opportunities. Yesterday's call ended up being 2.5 hours because there's so many people actively in deals and doing stuff that it went really long. There's a lot of good learning opportunities. But one of the things that came out of yesterday's call is Steve was like, wow, my first deal, a couple deals were like, it was pretty easy, pretty smooth, but now closing on a bunch of them at once, it's like, I can see why you don't suggest jumping right into a ton of properties at once, because it takes a lot more time than just one more or two more. And so I just want to give you like a little bit of a view into kind of what's going on, what's normal, what's not normal. It's actually all normal. And just try to find some learning opportunities there for you guys. So when you're closing on even a single property, whether it's already rented or it's a fixer or anything, it doesn't even matter what it is, there's this normal thing that happens during the course of a deal in between the time that you're in your due diligence and the time that you're actually closing and you're going to own the property, right? And there's usually, let's call it 20 days, sometimes longer, sometimes less. Let's call it 20 days in there. And so in that 20 days, you'd think that your title company and your lender and your insurance company would be getting all the things that they need from you like early on so that you could close smoothly and everything is good. You have plenty of time to review everything. And that would be very logical. However, in the world of real estate, it just doesn't work that way. Even though you have 20 days, you have all this time, everything seems to happen in the last few days. So yesterday, as we're getting the update from Steve, he's like, holy cow. And Steve works and he's got a job and he's trying to manage all this stuff, and he's closing. He was going to be closing on 6 properties. He's putting off one of the properties until next week because he's decided to get private money instead of using his own cash on that one. He's putting off till next week. So he's closing on 5 on Friday. So let me just kind of put you in the place of what it's like logistically when you're dealing with that. You have 5 different properties closing. Now it's the same title company because it's the same seller. That makes things a lot easier, but it's still a lot. Every single property has its own like title review to make sure that it's got clean title, and sometimes they don't, and there's things that they have to do to clear it. Each property, in this particular case, is having its own funding, which means, and I think it's all the same lender, but it means every single one has its own set of loan documents, its own closing statement, its own leases, like everything. The rents are different, the security deposits are different, everything. So the reality of dealing with closing in a group of properties is you have to take your time and not rush the closing, because it's really easy to miss something. So what Steve is doing right now and what we're going through, and I'm putting my eyes on some of his stuff, and Steve, I will get to that tonight. I haven't looked at it yet, but he has 5 closing statements that he's already looking at, and he's like, I'm already finding errors. There's one $2,000, error on there. They couldn't even explain what it was, so that's gotta go. And so one of the things that when you are preparing to close on your first and your 100th and your 1,000th property, you're always going to review the closing statement ahead of time, because it is almost never correct. Like, I will say it's never been correct for me, but it's almost never correct as it's currently stated. So you have to take time to go through line by line and look to see, did they record the purchase price correctly? Because what if you made your original offer for, let's say, $100,000, but then during your due diligence period, you found out that the roof was bad, and that wasn't part of your plan going in to replace the roof, and now you need an extra $8,000. So you go back to the seller and say, look, I still want to buy the property, but it's going to have to be $92,000 instead of $100,000. And let's say the seller says, I'm not going to go to 92, but I would do 94. And so there's all this paperwork going back and forth, and even though all of that gets sent to the title company, nobody cares more about your deal than you do, and nobody's paying attention to it the way that you are. So anytime there's any change, and I'm not saying this is related to Steve's deal, this is just generally, anytime there's any change in the transaction and there's been negotiations after the original contract, the title company frequently will not have those updates, or they have them in a file, but they haven't updated it. So you really have to look at even the most basic thing, the purchase price, to make sure that's correct. Another thing you need to make sure that is correct is the earnest money deposit. So, and let me kind of give you a little bit of background on that. Let's say you make sorry,
no, you're doing
amazing. Opportunities.
I just want you to know the man who is responsible for creating Stacy, Mr. Richard Bernard, just joined. Your dad's here.
Hi, Dad.
What's up, Pops?
I love my dad.
I just saw
that's
an announcement.
Kimberly's, dad from another Mister or whatever.
Wasn't expecting that. What's up? I didn't mean to distract you. Go ahead.
Okay.
So go for it.
Anyway, he really was like hugely instrumental in
was
all of the encouragement for me to be here with you guys today. Seriously, he was my first private money lender to get me started. So anyway, okay, earnest money deposit. So let's say, for example, you make an offer and your earnest money deposit is $1,000, and the seller comes back and they're like, okay, so I'm not, I don't love your offer price, but I could live with it, but I just want you to put more earnest money. I want to see you're more serious. So let's say they come back and say, we wanted $2,500 earnest money, and you're like, why don't we settle at $1,750? And they say, oh, okay. So again, this is all paperwork back and forth. So even your earnest money deposit on the closing statement can be incorrect. It usually happens when there was a change. So you have to check for that. These are things that you wouldn't even think you'd have to check for. You 100% do. If you are buying a property that is already performing, you have to make sure that your prorated rents are recorded, or one, even there, and two, correct. That's a really common one for title companies to miss because it's not typical for them to close rental properties. Who are most of the buyers in America? They're not investors, even though our whole world is investing, so it seems like that's tons of investors. We are a speck of the population for buyers. It's normally homeowners. There's no prorated rents. There's no security deposit. So it's really easy for a title company to miss those things. So you have to be totally on top of your stuff to make sure you don't miss anything. Anyway, so
can I tell a story really quick? I'm sorry, I'm famous for telling stories, but I don't know if you guys have a backstory on kind of like what happened, but a few years ago, Stacy got very excited about a particular market, and she was in basically we have roles and responsibilities in our business, even though we're both the CEO. She's like, hey, I'm gonna do the acquisitions, and I was like, awesome, cool. It's like 7 days went by and she's like, I got 12 of them. And I'm like, holy shit, stop.
Was it only 7 days?
Okay, it felt like it was only 7 days. So anyways, long story even longer, all of a sudden I find myself closing like on 3 houses in one day, then the next day another 4, and it's like, I'm like, I don't know. And the notary shows up and he's like, oh, by the way, we love this notary. We requested him all the time. His name was Perry. Love Perry. Perry, his last name was Savage. And that's like my word for the year on my bracelet is Savage. So I'm just like, I love this guy. Anyway, he shows up and he's like, I've been doing this for a long time. Like, I'm really excited to be notarizing for you guys. And we're going through the things. And literally, Stacy is he's talking. Stacy's looking at the statements, guys, and goes, this is wrong. And he's like, what? No way. And she's like, yeah, no, this is wrong. Literally over like 3 different documents, it was like $4,500 in errors. And she's like, he goes, well, I don't even have a printer. So these like stories, they help because when you're in it and you kind of crap in your pants. So I'm sorry, like I'm getting PTSD because I'm gonna remember it.
Jennifer has to sometimes put me and now Steve Caro on
acquisition restriction.
So because sometimes you just get a little addicted to real estate. It's super fun. But then sometimes it's not super fun when you had too much fun doing too much acquisition.
Right.
So we try to just give you the real of it. That's the real of it.
So anyways, because of all of that, we have a system now. Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. That's all true, and that's good. So those are just like the first couple of items. When you look at a closing statement, there's like a whole bunch of things on it. So you're looking at like the lender interest. Is it calculated correctly? Is it based on the interest rate you were actually quoted? What about the lender's points? And that might also be called origination fee. Battelle can tell you a story. We did an interview with her about how she was literally she actually was our one-on-one client, and she lives right around the corner from us, 10 minutes away. So I was like, well, just come over, tell your mobile notary to come here, and we'll just do the closing together, right? So we're going through the closing statement, and we looked at the points, and it just has a dollar amount. It doesn't say what the points were, what the amount of points was. And she was like, didn't think anything of it. I'm like, well, let's just make sure that the points are right. And so we went through and calculated, we took the amount of the origination, divided it by the amount of the loan, and was like, oh, hold on a second. This is 3.25 points. She was only quoted 2.75. So that was like, oh, hold on a second. That's a half a point on a $250,000 loan. It's like, that's not chump change. Like, it's a big amount. And then there was an extra $500 processing fee thrown in there. And the lender's like, oh, that wasn't supposed to be there. The point is, if she wasn't looking, or if we weren't looking at it together, she would not have realized. And the other thing was the interest even right? And so when we calculated it was based on 12%. So I was like, well, what did the lender originally quote you? And she's like, well, he didn't actually say, but he said it would be less than 12. And I said, well, it's 11.99 when you calculate it. Like, okay, I guess it's technically less than 12. But there was a time back in 2004 or 2005, a really long time ago, that I showed up at a closing, one of the very few I've ever done in person, and I looked at something and I'm like, something's not right here. What is my interest rate on a buy and hold, a long-term buy and hold? And I calculated and it was 12%. It was supposed to be like 5.5. and the lender just tried to like slip it through. Super, super shady. I only caught it because I was looking at every single line item. So it seems like a pain in the ass, and you will seem like a pain in the ass. Who cares? You're the CEO. It's your job to be a pain in the ass and to protect the investment of your shareholders. I know you don't really have shareholders. You have to pretend and act like you do so that you will make the right moves even when it's really uncomfortable and you're really unpopular. So interest rate could be wrong. Steve talked about some random $2,000 fee being on there, and I don't know who it came from, if it was title or the lender, but you're looking through and making sure, did they charge the closing costs right? Because you might have negotiated that the seller pays all the closing costs, or that there's 50-50, but they have all of them on yours. It could literally be wrong in like 10 or 12 different spots. So anyway, when he is going through this process of closing multiple ones like we have done, it's a lot because you have to step back and slow your mind down enough to check every single line on every single one, because there's $10,000 to $20,000 of errors that can easily happen. Easily in a closing. And when you start going into bigger and bigger properties, you start getting into apartments, and now you're into $500,000, $600,000, $700,000, $5 million, $10 million. These little few $1,000 things are more like $20,000, $70,000, $100,000 errors potentially. So it's really good to get in the practice of taking your time to review. So anyway, so Steve's in the process of having 5 closings on Friday. He's trying to review all these closing statements, and all of a sudden at the last minute, the lender's coming at him with, well, what about this? And what about that? And where's this document? And he's like, are you serious? Like, we've been trying to close for 6 weeks and you're just now asking me?
Typical.
And he's like, what the heck is wrong? And I was like, that's just so you know, there's nothing wrong. This is exactly how it is. This is just the real of real estate.
Yeah, it's like pushing rope.
It is like pushing rope and herding cats. We have all sorts of analogies. It's a big pain in the butt. But anyway, these are the prices you pay to acquire assets that are gonna provide for you, like for your long-term future. So you do what you gotta do, but there's a reality to taking your time and doing it right. And I told him, don't feel rushed to close. If stuff's not right, do not sign it. Don't sign it until they make it right. There's no pressure there. The seller wants to sell. He's like, almost has his money. He's not gonna be like, oh, forget it, because you're going one day. They need to make it right. So anyway, so he's in the process of doing that. Now he's having to review each one, keep sending, send it in, have them fix it, review it again. Sometimes have it fix it 2-3 times. That's just how it is. So anyway, but hopefully next week when we talk to you, we can be able to say, he closed. But yeah, but in 90 days, he's gonna have closed on 19 units. So it's like 93 days. 19 units, like that's crazy.
He's literally like your brother from another mother.
And yeah, so whoever had asked, is acquisition
restriction
like being grounded?
Yeah, it's like, stay in place. What's it called? Safe in place, rest in place. Corona. Stop it. Get in a corner.
Okay, so anyway, we'll keep you updated on that. There's so many things that came out of yesterday's call, but I feel like that was one that was really good because it really highlights, especially to all the other people in the mastermind who are just barely just getting started and are looking forward to their first deals. Like to hear him going through it and seeing what he's doing, and probably next Tuesday I'll pull up on the screen some of the closing statements so they can see them. But it's good for you to know like what's coming so that you can start getting prepared for it and knowledgeable. The other thing I wanted to talk about with you guys is there's, with COVID going on, the one thing that shifted, well, the one of many things that shifted very quickly and that we're working on navigating through is financing. Now, it really hasn't impacted some of the people that we're working with, like their deals are still closing and it's still normal, but where we have seen an impact, and I'm gonna talk about like what we've seen and kind of the big project we're gonna undertake to see what we can do about it, is there in the past several years, a lot of the hard money lenders have been offering long-term rental programs. And I always took it as because they saw that the economy was gonna slow down housing-wise at some point because it's been so strong for so long, and that they wanted to have their lending programs set up to be able to do some long-term lending when the fix and flip stuff started slowing down. But the thing that was interesting is when COVID hit, most of them shut down their long-term rental projects. Now, not that long-term rental lending is gone, but from the hard money lenders who had frankly pretty good rates, surprisingly good rates for hard money lenders, they took away their rental programs. So that all of a sudden it was like, okay, so where are we gonna get our long-term financing? Anyway, so that was one thing that's happened. And the other thing that's happened is a lot of the hard money lenders hard money lenders would be necessary if you're trying to do the BRRRR strategy and you don't have all the cash to do it, which a lot of people don't, or they want to leverage. So that's why you would use a hard money lender. So a lot of the hard money lenders that previously were lending, 80%, 90% of all the cost, the purchase and acquisition, they've scaled back to maybe doing 65 or 70% of the purchase price, but 100% of the rehab. But the thing that a lot of them have tacked on is, but we're only going to do that for you if you have at least 2 flips or 3 deals or a combination of rentals and flips in the last couple of years. Well, that knocks a lot of people out of the game because, well, what if you're a brand new investor? What are you supposed to do? All right, so that's what's going on right now. So it came up today on the 5-day challenge, and we were talking about financing. And what we're going to do is kind of as a group, as a Facebook group, for those who want to participate in this, I want to get to it today, it'll probably be tomorrow. I'm going to make an announcement of a day and time, maybe early next week, where I'm going to get everybody who wants to participate in this on a single Zoom call. I'm going to create a spreadsheet that's a shared Google spreadsheet, and everybody who wants to participate is going to take X number of lenders, or look up X number of lenders, interview them, compile all the information, and everybody who helped to do that project is going to get access to that spreadsheet. So if you want to be involved in that, send me a message over Messenger, and you can just say financing project. And then when I do that, when I make that announcement of that big Zoom call for this group, and I will train you on what to say, what questions to ask, I'll give you a questionnaire, and then it will be your responsibility to make those calls, which is going to give you practice making the calls, which is great, but it's also going to help compile information so that we can figure out which lenders are out there that you can use if you're brand new. Or if you need to have a couple of deals, then at least you know that going in and you can partner with someone who does. So, anytime something shifts in real estate, we don't freak out. We just say, okay, well, what do we need to do about it? Well, at this point, we've got a Facebook group of 2,500 people all over the United States, a big group of people, exactly. So we're going to take a tag team approach to that and figure out a solution so that everybody can keep moving forward. So anyway, I think it's going to be great, Rachel. I think it's going to be super good. It's going to get everyone practice. Everyone's going to benefit who participates, and then we can keep moving through this.
Yeah.
So I just want to let you guys know that if you already responded to the Facebook post where I asked about that, if you're interested, you don't need to send me a message. But if you didn't, you could either find that post and comment on it, or send me a message. Yep. And we'll get you invited to that. And hopefully then by the end of next week, we'll have more clarity as to which lenders we could use for what strategy. And I do have a little bit of workaround stuff. I probably won't do it public. I'll do it privately in a group, but I do have some clever, creative stuff for us to get around some of the things.
I have one more thing. Okay. Also next week, what I'm going to do, I don't know who noticed, I posted about a roadblock playbook.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, we have a playbook for our business based on when we enter a market, we ask ourselves a whole shit ton of questions, like what could go wrong, right? And by asking ourselves those questions, like what happens if the market gets saturated? What happens if there's this influx of all these investors and then there's no contractors? What happens if there's a fucking polar vortex? There's what happens if COVID happens or a pandemic? There's so many what ifs. I know, there's a new one. That was not in our playbook. But, thank God we had other contingencies, but we actually have not been affected. What I wanted to say is I'm doing a similar project, right? Because I want to hear from everybody that's out there, what roadblocks are you facing? And they might not even be real roadblocks that you have faced. They might be roadblocks in your head that you're afraid of. And what I want to do is I want to get a list of all your questions, and then which do we already have a solve for? And then get anything that might be new from what you've contributed to that. And we're literally going to put together a playbook based on that for the group of people that participate. So just come to me too. I'm doing something similar. We're gonna see which group gets the most, it's probably Stacy's gonna win, I already know. She's gonna do the funding group. I'm gonna do the group to focus on a playbook. And the playbook is based on, as a CEO running my investment business, what's the play if I run into a hurdle? Do I have an A, B, and C contingency? And if I implement this one first and that kind of worked, I need to go with the second option. You have to have those options and those plays so you know which play to run. It's just like a quarterback out on the field for those of you that follow football. Knowing the play in the face of adversity is super critical. For any of you who have seen my Sioux Talk, you know that it has served us. So I want to help you guys build your own playbook, right? So if you're interested in that, find that post. And then I know some of you, I think I've had like 8 people already express an interest. I really want to bring everybody on to a similar call. I'm going to let Stacy do hers first, and then I'll do mine later in the week. And just really come up with a tool that you can use so that you have your own playbook. Like, oh, okay, cool. So it's kind of like a disruption index, right? And it's very helpful. So yeah, we're going to do that too.
Yeah, and for those of you, truly, Jennifer and I don't invite people into our business. We do education and we do our own investing. We don't like combine the two. This is going to be the first time that we've actually brought our like outside group in to do a collaboration on a group project. And I'm really excited about the opportunity. And really it came from, like for me, I don't have time to call 100 lenders. Like there's no way. So how could we do it? But for those of you who choose to participate in both of those, I'm telling you what, your knowledge level is gonna jump. So it's a huge opportunity. We don't allow people to work with us one-on-one unless they are in our high-end coaching program. So it's a chance to actually work with us, get more like inside information and knowledge. So I encourage you to take advantage. We're probably not gonna do stuff like that very often, but this is a great opportunity for you guys to like just get in on what we're doing and learn, but contribute.
Yeah.
And learn while you're contributing.
It's a win-win too, because you get the asset when we're done.
Yeah. I thought of a couple other things to add too. I'm excited. Okay.
You know, we're going a little long. I don't know if you like.
There's just a lot too, because remember we did the content calendar and we're so excited, you guys. We stayed up till like what 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, we were
3:30. 2 nights ago, like creating.
I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew. Sorry. We even made Talladega Night references being funny. I'm sorry. I was like, let's go to bed. She won't let me go to bed.
That's not entirely true. But we were up until like 3 o'clock in the morning because we were basically creating like our next 90 days of what we're going to be doing in the Facebook group to really add value to you guys and deliver and help you move from, I wonder what it's like to invest, to, no, I'm investing now. So we have so many really cool things coming. So that's why it's long. But we have so much fun stuff. Okay, so let's talk about, are there any, you want to do Q&A before we hit this?
We actually have 0 questions.
Okay,
so
right.
Until I see one, let's just roll.
Okay, so we wanted to just kind of go through, we can just kind of tag team this one, but we wanted to just let you know kind of what's coming here, like in the next week or two that you can you'll start seeing this stuff on the calendar showing up in events. But just to let you know what's going on right now or what's coming, so you can throw it on your calendar if you want to participate and grow during this time. First thing is, so for those of you who've been following with Kimberly, Coach Kimberly, she's working on that 1031 exchange for her mom that it closed last week. So we're doing a series of interviews so that she can kind of tell you guys like, what is it like? What's happening right now? Where are they in the process? So we're actually following a live 1031 exchange and she's taking us through her life journey with that. So our next one is going to be next Monday at noon for an update. So if you would like to participate in that, be there Monday at noon. And yes, it's recorded. So if you are at work and you can't make it, you'll still have access. But if you can be there live, then you can also ask questions. So that's coming Monday at noon.
We also have the this right here, right? We've got the wholesale masterclass, the beta that's running out.
Yes.
I know it's at the bottom of the list, but I'm looking at the content calendar. The beta for the wholesale has come to an end, so we have a whole bunch of I think 250 new members that probably had no idea what the hell our wholesale beta was about. So we want to bring a wholesale course back, so do a mini little free training on what wholesaling our way looks like, because it's way different than probably anything you've ever heard of. But we want to do another mini wholesale masterclass, and we're going to do that on, I think it's Thursday, May 14th.
No, Monday.
Monday. I'm sorry, Monday at 5 p.m. So I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about.
Yeah. So we have our original beta time went through the 15th.
Yeah.
The 15th of May. And so we are in the last week, and the course is already done. It's been done for a couple weeks now. We thought we were going to take 6 weeks. We just pushed hard and got it done in the first 3. But we're still in that beta time frame that we committed to the group. We would leave it at 50% off until we were at the end of the beta. The beta ends next Friday. So if it's something you're interested in learning about wholesaling, or you've taken wholesaling classes before and you're like, wow, this is a lot of work and costs a lot of money, you want to learn a different way to do it remotely, we just have a very different strategy as far as implementing wholesaling. So anyway, I'm going to do a masterclass on Monday. about the way that we do wholesaling. And then if it's something you're interested in and you want to get in before the beta ends on the 15th and it's half off, you'll have the opportunity to do that. And after Friday, it'll just be the full price.
Right.
Still awesome and worth it, but I just wanted to announce that we'll do a little masterclass Monday on that.
For sure. The 5-day challenge, you have that is day 3, right? Day 3 already happened, right?
Yeah.
So day 4 and 5.
Yep.
So that's going pretty well.
Yeah. So do you want to talk about the 5-day challenge? What it is? Who it's for?
I mean, the 5-day challenge is for anybody who's looking to get getting very super comfortable and confident to analyzing a market and making an offer and acquiring your first commercial property, or not commercial, but multifamily property. And it's going really well, right? So like right now, Stacy's been teaching people and then giving a homework assignment at the end. So like it's just our whole philosophy is teach you the concept and then say, go do it. Because we completely believe in implementation. We're not one of those, hey, sit in a seminar for 4 days and don't do shit and then go figure it out when you get home. We like to teach you and then say, go do it. So you're kind of learning and doing and learning and doing. We just found that that's most effective. So anyways, the 5-day challenge, if you have not registered for that, like you're recording them and saving them in the units for people that haven't come, right? Okay. So check out the events, or if you want to get, look at the events and like get in there, but if they're saved in the units so that you can go back and review those sessions that they've had so far.
Yeah, and if you would like to participate live, we have 2 more days. So Thursday and Friday, we do it at noon Pacific. You do have to register so that you can get into the webinar link, and then so you can get live instruction. We do live Q&A. We had a really great Q&A session today after the content part of it. But if you can't make it, or if you're seeing this later, units, and it'll be recorded in there.
But if you're like super pumped, you can go to the units and watch them real quick and then still get in there for tomorrow's day 4.
That's true.
I mean, if you were Steve Caro, that's what you'd do.
Will you be doing the 5-day challenge again? We probably won't be doing the 5-day challenge again, Bill, because it's something that once it's done, it's in the units and it's created so that people can go back and
do it at their own pace when they're ready.
Yeah. So we do it live so that we can have it recorded, so it's an asset for the future. But then we just are always working on creating new stuff for you guys. Yeah. But it will be there for you whenever you want to do it.
Totally.
You want to talk about this one?
I do. So I'm not sure if you guys know, but we also have a How to Buy Multifamily Apartments Facebook group, and we kind of, because we teach these concepts, and we have a really cool opportunity where we are launching an apartment investing beta course. So for those of you that did our beta course for this class, not class, but for this group, it's gonna be kind of similar, right? It's like a 3-month program, and Stacy and Kimberly, our apartment experts, putting it together. And so there's gonna be more details there. So you'll see some really exciting things coming out of that. But anybody who's interested into getting into apartments and you're at that level and you're like, I want to go, that's seriously like, let us know, and we'll get you into that group and into that beta. So it'll be fun. It'll be really fun.
Yeah, we were brainstorming that out today with Kimberly, and
yeah,
it's gonna rock.
Hey, so we also did a poll post trying to find out what topics you would want to know about, and so we could do a free little mini masterclass. And I can't remember what the topics were, but right now it's like a dead split. What were
the generation calculating offers seem to be the 2 that are
okay. So yeah, we're gonna put something together, right? It's 50-50 split. So we're trying to figure out. We might just have the kids pull a topic out of the hat at that point if we can't get an even lead. We're gonna do both no matter what, but which one is first is the one. Yeah. So, but we're gonna be doing that. You'll hear more about that next week, announcing when that free class will be. So make sure you vote if you have not voted and it's something that you're interested in.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. What else?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, the property tour on Friday.
Were you guys there last time? Did you see it?
I mean, it was fun. It was fun for me. It was fun. It was effective. So we decided to do it again. And on Friday, 1:30 Pacific. And we got, I think, Dorian's coming on to present a couple of deals. And then we have JJ Steelman's coming on to present a 66 unit property that's like off market. So like you're the first people, and he's gonna share it with you. So
we might have Nick.
We might have Nick Lamont.
And realtor Ariane from Andy has a 6 unit, 4 of which are under market rent. So I think we gotta connect with them.
Oh yeah, because
Nick has a portfolio deal that he's wholesaling. Yeah. So we got like some cool stuff. And then Dre's gonna come back if we do one next week, which we think we probably will.
Yeah.
Dre's gonna come back and do some presenting, more properties. So this is kind of like a beta experiment for us to try it. Jennifer's brainstorm. It went really well last week. I thought it was really cool. So We're gonna keep doing
I
it.
just
So-
spent the entire time going, God, I wish I could just go get that property.
Yeah, so Friday at 1:30 Pacific, we are doing it within the webinar, which they can actually register to be inside, right?
Yeah.
To ask questions. So if you want to come into it and just be live with us, that's fine. We'll also post it live on the Facebook group if you don't end up have a chance to register. So
Yeah, we'll be going live on it. It'll be good.
yeah, that was fun. What else? Oh, tomorrow at 1 o'clock Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern, we have there's these two people on earth that I feel like they're just like the light of the world. We have a boy version and a girl version. The girl version is Kimberly. It's Kimberly. It's our apartment coach, Kimberly. The boy version is Robin Scoville. And you'll know when you meet him and you see him. He's just like this, oh. Anyway, he is such an incredible investor. And I trained him back in 2007. He had never done a deal in his life. He was a filmmaker from Hollywood. He did, what are those things called? Documentaries, and he's just super hippie, chill guy. And he's like, yeah, I want to create some passive income. And like in the first year, 2 years, he had 100 doors. And now he's into like development, working with the city of Detroit. Like he's just taken everything to such a huge level. And
but hold up. He bought a property back then for like $250,000, and go ahead and drop it. What's he about to sell?
Yeah, so last night he told me, he goes, yeah, we have this property on the market. We just put on the market for $3 million. I was like, oh, that's cool. He goes, guess how much I paid for it? I was like, what? $250,000. I was like, oh my God, what? So he's super big into value add, using tax credits and like just super awesome creative stuff. So I think I'm waiting for confirmation, but as of last night, he was going to come on tomorrow and have me interview him at 1 o'clock Pacific. So you totally are going to want to see that interview.
Totally.
It'll just show you what's possible out there. He is a big thinker and just such a great human being. And then it's not for a couple of weeks, but on the 21st, we have Aaliyah and Terry coming on. It's Aaliyah Ott and Terry Garner. Terry actually trained back in 2007 and has just gone on to do amazing things, but these ladies have specialties in raising private capital, doing private lending, and doing self-storage, and doing like turnarounds on self-storage, like value add projects in self-storage. So the stuff they know is so fascinating, and they're on like project number 17 at this point. So I just reached out to them a week ago and I was like, girls, what are you up to? What are you doing? Can I interview you? So they're gonna come in on the 21st, and we're actually gonna do, what was the subject called? Oh, just wait, you guys, like this is awesome. Recession-resistant investing. So we're gonna do an interview about recession-resistant investing and just talk about it and talk about what some of those strategies are. And then the next week, we're actually gonna do like a masterclass on it. And they're gonna teach it, I'll just help facilitate it. But that's coming, and then about a month from now, we're gonna do the same thing with self-storage, because a lot of you have said, I'm interested in what other topics we have. So we have a few times we're gonna bring them back maybe once a month and just let you get to know them. They are just a wealth of knowledge and information. So I'm really excited about that. I didn't even have a chance to update you on that one yet.
I'm like sitting here going, shit, I didn't even know.
It's been a busy day.
It's very infrequent that I'm on the edge of my seat to watch one of our own interviews, but
yeah, that happened.
that one I'm going to be there for. I've always
That's
wanted
what
a
I told-
storage unit.
That's exactly what I told him. Like, oh, Jennifer's gonna totally be there for that.
Yeah, I totally want a storage unit. I'm all about diversifying your revenue streams, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool.
Oh, I think that's all the.
That is. We totally data dumped on you guys. You all right?
did. There's a lot. The whole thing is, we want you to be here every day with us. Like, come hang out with us. And so we're just looking to bring in topics and people, and just to make this the go-to community that you come to find partners, find investors, to lend money if you have money to lend, to get involved in deals and learn and grow. So I hope that we're doing that for you. We want to continue doing it. We're super excited to be here with you guys. Anything else?
Yeah. I mean, if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands and invite a friend to the group. Like, we're about 2,500 strong. The more people we have, like, your network is like, it's your net worth. Everybody is all about relationships. Our entire approach is about relationships. So I basically think, like, the more like-minded people we get into this group, we have a very, what is that? Like, it takes a village to raise a child. Well, we always call our portfolio the colicky baby, you know, and it's like, you know, it's our $1 million baby is like how we referred to it. And so it takes a village to raise our babies. And when I say babies, I mean our investment properties. And so I think it's just cool to have a community where we can all, you know, come together and figure out how to collaborate, be friends, and make some fucking money. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and on that note, don't forget, just recap, The 1031 exchange with Kimberly, if you want to tune into that, it's Monday at noon. The 5-day challenge, it's ongoing. Go in, and I know you like Netflix and chill. Just go to our units and chill. Do day 1, 2, and 3, and then join in at day 4. Go in and look at it when it's all done. Like make your own choice, obviously. But the day 5 challenge or the 5-day challenge, it's legit. It's a pretty cool thing. The beta apartment, if you're interested in that, make sure you drop a comment. And they're saying clap, clap. I love this. If I'm not telling you to clap, clap, I'm telling you to put poop in a sock. The wholesale masterclass will be Monday. So if you're new to the group, just joined and don't know anything about that, make sure you tune into that. It'll be good. And then property tour on Friday. It is going to be fun. We're going to hang out, and I can't wait. Robin interview tomorrow at 1, hopefully, please. And then I can't wait for the storage unit.
Yeah, that's going to be good. Well, that will be next month, but
yeah, I still can't wait.
I know, right? It's going to be awesome.
You got anything else?
I think that's it. So we kind of have everything every day, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow, 1 o'clock, Friday, 1:30.
Yep. We take Saturday and Sunday off,
and then we
sorry.
have tomorrow at noon and Friday at noon for the
Yeah.
5-day challenge. Monday at 12 with Kimberly. Yeah, and by then I'm sure we'll have even more. Oh, and then 4 o'clock on Monday for the wholesale masterclass. So, we got a lot for you if you want to stay plugged in, and
For sure.
let's go do some real estate.
Yes. You guys have a good one. Bye. Happy hump day.